Hi everyone, I'm Matt Gash with SoundersFC.com here at Starfire, where the Sounders just finished training. They face Toronto FC tomorrow afternoon at 12:30, and it's two teams fighting for playoff spots.
A team that's desperate like they are, you always have to take extremely seriously because for them it's a playoff game. Tomorrow's a playoff game. The playoffs don't start, in November for them. They start right now. So we have to come out with that same mentality, because if we don't match their intensity, we don't match their mentality, then that sometimes becomes a difference in the game. So when you play a desperate team, you know it's a playoff game for them. You got to really work on making sure you match their mentality.
Both teams are fighting down the stretch to reach the playoffs. Seattle's in the driver's seat in 7th place with 39 points, while Toronto sits on the outside looking in with 31 points in 10th place.
You can't take anything for granted. You got to know that this is a team that has some talented players that are disappointed with their current situation, and they want to come to our place and prove something.
I think it's a game where we know what's at stake, kind of cement ourselves in a playoff position. So can't really focus on Toronto too much. We just got to do what we need to do. And I think this is probably their last chance, really, to try and get themselves back up in the playoffs. So we'll get their best effort, just like we got Chicago's one. So it's just a game where we need to forget what happened up there and focus what we need to do so we can get in the playoffs.
Seattle played Toronto FC on the tail end of a two-game road trip back in April, losing 2-0 after two mistakes cost the Sounders in a game they were otherwise controlled. Since then, they have fired their technical director, Mo Johnston, and their head coach, Preki. So the team they face on Saturday may differ from the one they faced in Canada in April.
The team in a little bit of transition. Manager, sport director gone, trying to figure out where they're going to go. Fighting for points to get into the playoffs. Some players aren't happy with some current situations, and it's sometimes those wounded animals are kind of a little bit tricky.
One thing that remains the same is that Toronto is a physical team that's not afraid to take a hard foul. One player who was on the receiving end of some of those tackles last time around was Nathan Sturgis, and he's prepared to see those same tactics again.
They're a physical team. They're a tough team to play against, and they're just like us. They're chasing for a playoff spot, so I'm sure it'll be a physical game.
Toronto is led by Dwayne De Rosario in the midfield. The Canadian national team standout has 12 goals on the season, including one against the Sounders in their last match.
He's a player. We got to know where he is at all times, and we got to make sure when he gets the ball, who's ever closest has to get and limit his space as quickly as possible. We're not going to mark him man-to-man or go personal, but we've got to limit his space. And he's a player who, he's been around this league a long time, and, he's a guy who's shown he can consistently score goals and set up goals. And, you got to be aware of where he is, because he can beat you with his speed and he can beat you with his shot from distance.
D-Ro's a good guy and a good player, and has proven that over the last 5-6 years at Houston and at Toronto, and he's a dangerous player. But he's not the only dangerous player they have. So sure, you got to be thinking that your Aussies and your Sturgis are and him dropping back into midfield and making things tough and trying to control the game, and you got to keep him tight. We've proven that we've been able to do that the last 12, 13 games, and it's going to be a good test for us. And one that if we want to solidify a playoff position, this is a big chance to win this game at home and to do that.
Sounders will be recognizing Breast Cancer Awareness Month on Saturday. They'll be playing with this pink ball. They'll have all sorts of pink going around the stadium, pink ribbons on their jerseys. It'll be a great celebration of breast cancer awareness. Sounders versus Toronto FC. It's a 12:30 kickoff. We'll see you at Quest Field. I'm Matt Gash with SoundersFC.com.